stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, everyone. At the last meeting, we talked about putting together a plan to move forward with the strategic planning effort. And I put together just some thoughts, ideas to try to push us in the right direction. I guess, you know, those involved, the very first three things we have to lock ourselves into is what's our vision going to be? What's our role in that vision? And then the core set of values that we want. From that, we have to look at those areas of focus, you know, I just listed out some of the most common ones that NICOM has offered up in the past. Public safety, infrastructure, quality of life, which includes quite a bit of different things. Fiscal integrity, transparency with communication, economic growth, and government operations. Once we sort of get ourselves wrapped around that, we can start to develop action plans. I know Trustee Cook mentioned before a comprehensive part. Yeah. But you know, there's other ones as well. Folks know we have things going on with our infrastructure, our water, our sewer as well, I believe. So all of these things we're going to need to pull into some time. I put together on the back, there's some other pieces to it as well, but on the back page, I put together just sort of a schedule of I think how we can get to something by the end of this year where we at least are starting to work on whatever the village department heads and board feel we need to be focusing attention and energy on. I thought if we talk about this kind of a concept of coming up with a mission statement, we could move forward with coming up with those areas that we really, and this is in conjunction with public input along the way, I should have said that. Moving towards the adoption of that vision, but really more importantly, coming up with those areas of focus and creating some feedback loops that we want to use. None of the projects happen overnight. They're going to take time, but until we can sort of like identify what we want to do, we're just kind of going in a circle. So I'm open to suggestions, ideas, thoughts. I just want to get some kind of a format going in a structure. This is sort of the format I've used in the past with counties, behavioral health counties. But obviously ours is slightly different stuff. So, comments, thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think for the vision statement, at least, you know, the Vision Scotia committee spent a considerable amount of time drafting a vision statement that I think in this particular situation would be applicable.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
Just in case you want me to read it.
Yeah, please.
So Scotia aspires to be known regionally as a desirable place to live, work, and play, and do business in the capital district. It will offer a safe and welcoming environment for people of all ages and backgrounds. Its downtown corridors and residential neighborhoods will become fully accessible and even more beautiful, thanks to steady infrastructure and streetscape improvements. Businesses along Mohawk Avenue and throughout the village will be thriving and will make a downtown a bustling destination for shopping and dining. Formerly vacant properties will see new development with a mix of uses being quickly occupied by new residents and businesses. Its attractive visual character, diverse housing, and exceptional services will further make Scotia a place to live and invest. Scotia Park will remain at the heart of the community, will be enhanced with the new waterfront amenities, events, and activities that will serve residents and visitors alike. Scotia aspires to maintain its close-knit village character, while offering the conveniences of a larger.
Thank you. I think that states what we talked about wanting to, so why don't we send that around again, if you don't mind,
Yep, it's actually on the Envision Scotia.
Yeah, so
website.
then that- our website.
Honestly, plug it right in.
Yeah, plug it in,
Right.
as it is.
Vision's done.
Yep.
I mean, having been through a billion strategic plans, it feels like we're already approaching the point of inertia on it. And that we've done some of this already.
Yep.
So I think some of this can be distilled down into the vision. I don't know that we need a mission in the same way as like you want to separate a vision and a mission, like as you do like in a nonprofit or another place. Like I think like the mission, like the village provides.
No disagreement.
Yeah, so I don't know that we necessarily need a mission. The core values and the goals and objectives, my opinion, I think the public is not asking for all of this. I think they're asking for like, I think the areas of focus are right on, right? Those are good. I think what we can already do is we already got a bunch of feedback from residents. We had those initial sessions and we get lots of emails, we get lots of other correspondence. I think if we each spent 10 minutes on plugging in the sub areas in these, I think we would probably do it, and we could just counter or we could cross-reference that with the information we gathered from people at the first session, which was an awful lot of information. And my 2 cents on strategies and action plans are that we can tie some of the goals and objectives to things that are already happening. I think that's probably more important for us to be able to like transparently and proactively communicate what's already happening in some of these areas. And then it'll be really clear what the difference is, the things that have been highlighted, that there's not a current action that's working toward it. And we can sort of plug that in. And honestly, like, I think we can streamline this whole thing into just that. And I know that was sort of my concern from the get-go, that I think what the public wants is more communication, more engagement, and more transparency. I don't think they want a whole robust strategic plan and vision that is likely to either not make sense, get shelved, be too ambitious, and so it dies. So I just think let's focus on the stuff that we already know, that's already been highlighted, and then let's like plug in some action steps on where there's been action, where there's currently things happening, and then what do we need to do to kind of move that stuff to the future. That's my take. I think otherwise, I think if we go to the public and say, yeah, based on our strategic work plan development that we've been talking about for forever, we should have something for you in, January.
This was the old one.
I know, but and I'm saying that as like, we're already not on this timeline, right? So like, anyway, that's enough.
No. I don't disagree with that at all. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
The terminology here is.
I know. And you and I come from a world where like this is what you do, right? Like,
yeah. But we have to deal with the reality of government and what needs to be addressed now.
Last thing I'll say is,
done.
and after we say this and we start doing this, 5 wild priorities will come up that we'll have to deal with. And then also it's going to be budget time.
Yeah, no question. Thoughts?
Well, I think actually in his comments, trustee Brown actually provided us with our mission as well as our values, to provide exceptional services and to ensure a safe, connected, and convenient community that provides the highest possible quality of life to its residents and visitors. And then our values are really responsible government, transparency, communication.
Amen. Thank you for making sense of my rant.
Shouldn't the goals and objectives be a little bit more detailed?
Yeah, we definitely have to spell out each of these areas that we,
And honestly, I think it's like a maximum of 3 things under each of these.
it's 3 to 5 bullets max.
Yeah, like, that's it.
In anything.
I also want to add the word action. We can talk, and communicate, but if we don't have a plan that we're providing to the public or following through, I see that there's some perhaps lack of follow through. I think action is very important to proceed with our strategic plan.
No, it's a good one for a value to have.
In under value, I'd also like to suggest we add data driven.
Yep.
Something they feel good, but not necessarily driven by a need.
Okay,
And we identify need through data.
I'll put a file up on OneDrive. Okay, that has these, if somebody thinks of one that they want to add or something. Feel free.
What's the best way for us to, is the best way for us to provide some information that edits this? Is just like
Yeah,
shoot an email out because too many people are trying to edit the document.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so just send you,
And then each of these areas should get feedback from the department heads and the board,
for sure.
okay?
Great. Love it.
Great.
Thank you for taking the time to put this together, by the way. I appreciate very much the effort to try to get it on,
If wanted to get something down on
get it
paper,
on the
that
rails.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think one area is, in terms of the areas of focus, I think the top 3 need to be kind of like at the core of what a municipality does, and that is
Yeah.
public safety, infrastructure, and quality of life.
Agreed.
That's why they're for 1, 2, 3.
Right, so, but within that, I almost wonder if it's not necessarily, in terms of transparency, communication, economic growth, and government operations, as well as fiscal integrity. I would actually say fiscal integrity is more of a value than it is an area of focus. If you don't have integrity in our finances, why are we here? And I truly believe that we have great fiscal and financial integrity to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'd say scratch that from areas of focus and move that into value.
Okay, so soft disagree. I agree that the word integrity makes it a value, right? But I think what we've heard time and time again from the public is that they want to see active efforts to try to contain costs. And so I think it would behoove us, given the feedback from the community and frankly, just what we've been facing in terms of our budget, that we figure out the wording to have it be a little more highlighted.
Then let's make the explicit, and let's just say tax mandate.
Great,
Because,
yes,
first of all, increasing taxes over 2% does not mean you're not practicing fiscal
That's right.
integrity.
No, right, I agree, that should definitely be valued.
that's right.
It's taxes that were,
It's really, maintaining taxes,
Yeah, yes, agreed.
controlled spending.
Controlled spending, there's the language.
all right, I'll send this out.
Great.
We'll do this through an email and we'll,
Can you, just because it's easier to work on with like free time, can you just also email it, the Word
Yeah.
document?
Yeah.
In addition to
Yeah.
putting it in
Yeah.
OneDrive, just because that's
Yeah.
easier to get on the fly.
yes, very. Thanks, guys.
Want to go to the next agenda item?
Yep,
I'll make a motion to appoint Linda Heaney or Haney, right?
yes,
to a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the vacancy with the term expiring in December of 2026.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So moved.
Thank you for, did you?
Yeah,
You find Linda?
we found her.
That's great.
I'm talking to one of the existing
Great.
members.
Love that. Thank you.
Department of Health Water Bill Requirement.
This is State Department of Health.
They are, well, yes, a very.
I mean, I say that for no real reason.
Oh, yes, you did.
But we wish, I think.
So everybody saw the clip that's going at the water bill. You will see that violations are from starting 2020. So it's my understanding that the EPA may possibly be doing an audit and violations weren't issued to us properly. And now the EPA would like the violations to be issued in a timely manner. And they are going to issue these violations in to go out with our water bills. So I just found out just a little while ago, they're going to issue the violation on September 26th. Our bills are going out September 29th. Violation gets the public notice. So that's what I'm getting out of it. Like I said, I haven't seen the actual letter stating these violations and the reasoning behind it. It's just talking to Katie at Department of Health. But they're working with us, so we don't have to do a separate mailer. We just put it on the back of our water bill. It'll be easy for us.
And
Is
these
the
are right-
understanding that this is happening in multiple municipalities?
Right, yes. And
There's-
So remember in 2022, we had the lead exceedance, we got a violation that all was. So that never happened on this previous occasion.
Right.
So that's why they're requesting us to do this now.
And it's not on us.
It's
It's because they did not notify us
Right.
in
So-
2020.
It's nobody's fault, I guess, but now they want us to issue the violation. I'm like, well, this is 5 years ago. Like, I'm gonna make everybody go crazy when we haven't had violations since that time. So the language that's gonna be printed is what's required. We talked about maybe adding a little blurb, explaining a little more. I don't know how anybody feels about that.
I think a letter from the mayor that you help with,
Yeah.
just to explain what the scenario is.
Right.
To go out with the bills, if possible.
Could we just do, I was hoping to just do like a little insert, like a little third of a piece of paper.
Yeah. And I think we duplicate that in an email that goes out in advance. I think we need to
So
tell
we
people.
don't wanna cause.
Yeah, I think you need to tell people, when you get your bill, you're gonna see the following information attached to it. This is what it means, right? So the letter can be something more in-depth. Frankly, to Maria's point, the little clip could be a brief version of that from the mayor that says,
Yeah,
for more information, see
Yeah.
the letter on the website.
So my
That's
only,
my
my only concern is I haven't been issued the violations yet
Right.
until the 26th, so I don't know what that letter is gonna exactly say.
They can't give us, I mean, we have printing
No, I
issues.
know.
It said you were received, the summary was received September 30th, 2020.
No, we never got the violation.
That's what I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
so
so
how,
that's why they have to issue the violation now. That's why it has a problem with it. Because
we haven't
the whole
received it.
violation, right, but now the EPA is mandating the state issue these violations 5 years later.
so everybody that had violations back then has got to do. this.
Right, because it could have been COVID was happening.
Right.
I like to hear.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I have very specific questions for my own clarity and hopefully clarity to be left. So these violations were made starting in 2021 and running through 2022.
Right. 2022, we got one of them that made the public notice. previous.
So
No, the ALE was,
my next question is, with these violations have been addressed.
Well, this will make public notice.
We
So
think.
The requirement,
The EPA at the time did not issue violations in April of 2021, November 9th of 2022, or June 30th of 2021, or December 31st of 20.
correct.
Would the EPA be the one issuing?
So we,
I believe it's the requirement of the New York State
Yeah.
Department of Health.
so that's actually my next
But the
question.
EPA is one auditing.
EPA has federal law that's administered and enforced by the New York State Department of Health. It is the enforcer, the New York State Department of Health, that has to issue these
Yes.
violations.
Correct.
At the request of the EPA.
Right.
But for whatever reason, the EPA did not communicate to New York that they needed to issue municipalities throughout the state who were in violation of these violations.
That's what I'm getting out of it.
So these are in fact past due violations that haven't been noticed, but we as a village have addressed.
We have, and we're required to put out that required language and spread out below those violations.
Perfect.
so how,
Um,
You have another question?
my statement then, on this piece of paper, there should be a little gray box where those violations are. With a sentence italicized blurb stating that these are past due violations.
Right,
We
but what
can't
Ryan's
change
saying,
that.
yeah, what Ryan's saying is we can't alter what they
That-
send us. We
No.
can add an additional note. But to Ryan's point,
You don't,
we don't necessarily know for sure, based on what they're gonna send us, exactly how to answer what's been done about them, because we haven't seen
we haven't
them
seen the
yet.
actual violation.
And so to Ryan's point is it like, it's gonna, these things are gonna hit on the 26th,
Right, and then we're mailing the 29th.
correct? So that's why I'm suggesting that we preemptively do something to let people know there's going to be this information when they get their bill, right? With a little explanation that like, based on everything we know, right, these are not current violations.
Right.
These are things that were already addressed. There's no concerns right now with any of the safety of your water. For more information and direct,
Participate in the lead service line survey.
well, yeah, sure, quick plug, lead service line. And then direct people to the full letter, right? Which again, once we get that information, that's easier to update
Yeah.
than the clipping. Am
I
I
think-
making
How
sense?
many households get the water bill?
We have some that are just sewer, but probably about 3,800. I'm just concerned about the phone calls too, about the bill.
So
I want to make it clear of who to call for what. Like, I don't want to get calls about this.
No, that's-
Then just say that. It's not, we're not answering questions, but put that in the letter.
Yeah,
Put that in the letter. Call, if you have questions about this, honestly, refer people to state DOH.
well, that's what we wanted to talk
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
what
so
what the best course
Yeah.
of
But
action.
without that,
We,
we don't have a turnaround time, right? When we get the
That's right.
violation.
That's right.
we just, one thing we do have to make clear is that we did not hold on to this information.
No, okay.
So
Because
that
that's gonna
goes in
be
the
the,
cover letter, and look, no
Exactly.
one's gonna read a little, no one's gonna read a little slip of paper. It needs to be a cover letter written by you, the mayor, explaining exactly what this is, who to call, what to do, your water is safe, don't freak out. Bill, violation letter that's included in this packet.
Should we pull it off the bill then and do a separate mailing?
I would put it all together,
Just don't have the time to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're not getting.
What if you post it says,
Okay, guys, again, I'm suggesting the cover letter, just super
Yeah.
quick, right? Just the letter that's gonna go out does not need all of the specific information from what's gonna come. That's where you're referring people, if you say in the letter, if you have questions about the specific violations, call state DOH. You're just explaining in broad terms the fact that this is what's happening, this is why you're gonna see this is what it means. These things have already been addressed. You don't have to say the specifics of the things, you just have to say they've already been addressed. If you have questions about the specific violations, call state DOH, and then you're done, and then we don't need to wait to go to the printer till we get that.
I was gonna say, the slip of paper that you put in, and just say,
Well, I want to put the rate changes too, that's why,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
so, but it will just say, before you call questions, please go to the website and see this letter with detail, a more detailed explanation. And then you don't really have to put anything in the envelope except where to go look, and that gives you a couple more days,
Okay.
and say it'll be posted by this date.
Right, and again, the only added step I'm suggesting is that some version of that go out in advance via email, at least via email.
Yeah.
Is to just say like, this is like, you're gonna get an important notice along with your water bill. Again, broad strokes, this is what it says.
Yeah, there's 4 points to it. You're getting a notice along with your bill. This is old violations that the village has corrected.
That we were not notified
We were not,
about
yeah,
at
that'd
the
be the
time.
next part.
However, they've already been,
Right.
these things have already been addressed, right? Again, make sure people know, like,
That's fine.
we didn't sit on anything.
Right, that's the big key that I want to make sure we convey.
Right, and then you can honestly, you could include the rate change, like the information about like, don't call us about these violations, call state DOH, like, we're not gonna, call
We really
that.
don't have the.
We don't have the answers.
I don't.
We don't have the answers.
That's the frustrating part for me is I don't have any information, it's that you water bill.
Yeah.
What they sent me. And
I know this was before your time, but how did we know that we had an ALE?
I did not know until 22 when I received a violation for 2020, and that's when I had to go through all those steps of the pamphlets, the mailers, the increased testing and all that.
Yeah.
So that's when I was notified in 2022, and that's when we made that public notification, put it on the news, and did all that.
Sorry, this gets into some blurring, but just to clarify for people, like, regular testing happens already for all of this stuff. So like, when we say something was addressed, it means that if something popped up in the routine testing, as happens, it would be addressed. So some of that stuff would still trigger, right? I don't wanna, but some of those things would still trigger that alert, that warning from EPA, even if you've already addressed it. So that's what I'm saying is like, I think it needs to be clear to people that like, none of this is a surprise. It's just that we weren't notified formally in the way that we are supposed to be notified.
Violation.
And
Right.
it does have here, following the cited violations, the village of Scotia
You would know
maintain
this at some point.
regulatory compliance.
You have this
Oh,
violation.
that-
It's resolved with other.
So what are we gonna do?
So,
It seems simple to make it.
well, let's decide how we want to send it out
The
first.
next those months was quick.
Hang on. Guys.
I appreciate this information, I appreciate the clarification, but in terms of how it goes out, what it goes out on, I fully trust that you, Mayor Luchavero, can figure out the best possible way to send this information out. I don't think it takes a motion or a vote of the
No.
entire board to do this, so you have, whether it goes out with the water bill, whether it goes out separately, as long as notice goes out, I do think that is the responsibility of the mayor's office.
This I asked to be on the agenda for information for the trustees, because I'm sure it's gonna hit Facebook and I'm sure there's going to be questions. So I wanted the trustees to be aware
That's,
of the issues.
that's what I'm saying, like, it seems simple to be able to dispel this stuff, we didn't know about it, but here's our results from testing, the standard testing, 6 months after this date. You know what I mean? Did we not, it says the one violation failure to conduct lead and copper steam line. We did that though.
We did, so those violations, we were originally on 30 sites. They never notified us to switch to 60 sites. That's what those last two
Right.
are.
Right.
So again, we weren't notified to switch. We continued doing 30.
That's, like I said, each one of these can be simply explained in the sense that we were doing our standard monitoring of the sites that we had to previous to this time.
Right.
Without notification, we had no way to know
Right.
that we were being required to do this. But here's our results for that time we didn't, and now here, when we started the 60 thing, the 60
I don't know if you want to go.
No, yeah,
into
because
that.
then you're gonna have to do that for each one of these things. That's why I think.
Well, that's
you
the point.
say- Yeah, but then you're in the weeds. People aren't gonna read, no.
It's
not-
simple.
No, it's not simple.
Well, I mean, it's
People don't understand this stuff.
Yeah, it's very common.
to me, it's just like if there was a presumed violation and then we were doing what we were supposed to be doing and we provided a result, it's dispelling the fact that there was a violation.
I disagree about getting into specifics about it. You just say that these issues have been addressed. There's no current concerns. If you have questions about the specific items, here's who you call.
Because,
You can provide me that
How
by
can we
Friday.
do that statement?
Okay, great.
because you guys are going to be getting the conversation, I will share the letter prior to we going out.
That's true.
And I do appreciate the notice, I just,
That's-
and I think giving us notice
It's
of
too
a
much.
situation, and having Ryan explain it versus us debating us how the word gets out. That was my point.
No, that's
Do you know roughly how many people are constant contact?
100 or something.
So that's a good.
Oh, it's a majority, it's a lot of people.
And then people
And then
spread the
people
thing.
share it,
Yeah.
okay. That's-
And we can post it on the website,
Yeah.
the letter.
yeah.
Some folks are not there.
So the failure to conduct those standard monitoring isn't necessarily true. It's just the fact that we didn't do extra.
Correct. But
Because we were properly.
But can you imagine if you tried to communicate
Regulatory.
rather just make it?
So we did our due diligence, we did our testing, we did what we needed to do, we weren't notified by the state.
To get now.
Considering, Mayor, that it's the 15th, what's the date you think you can get this out? the door?
I'm meeting with Ryan tomorrow. I'll try to get the letter to you guys by tomorrow evening. And the letter will go to Maria by Friday,
Thank you.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday. Great. I know you're trying to head on vacation a lot right before.
No, I'm not, I'm working from.
Let me know if you need help.
No, I'm working, so I'm just not gonna be.
It's all very confusing. so-
Yeah, thank you for walking us through that, Ryan.
Thank you.
I wish they had the violation again.
So here's,
Seems silly.
here's another interesting one. So the mayor of Schenectady called me. And they are part of a new AI effort. In which they have put cameras on their garbage trucks. And those garbage trucks are recording front lawns and the size of garbage cans. And they are using it to identify areas of concern. Garbage cans that are oversized and the garbage men are can't do it, but also junk littering the front lawns. Code violations like that. They asked us if we would like to attend a joint meeting with the city council and ourselves to hear more about what this program is all about. I'm not doing it full justice, but Mayor McCarthy said it would be very interesting intergovernment partnership to at least sit down and listen to the presentation on this together. I have no problem sitting down and listening to it. I
It's
think
interesting enough to learn about.
I just
Will
don't,
be-
they are our garbage collector.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Be the best.
yeah, we just, like you said, we just don't want to commit to anything right now because we might be a cost associated with it.
right. That's why we want to sit and listen to
It's really
what
part
the
of
story
it.
all is.
So I'm sorry,
It's part of our vision.
are they gonna do this at a regular common council meeting?
It,
or-
it either the regular common council or one of ours will pull together.
Okay, that's good, that's good. It
Yeah.
can't hurt to listen.
So,
I already said, yeah. That's interest.
I'm open to meeting. I don't think there's ever been a joint village board city council meeting before. I do have lots of questions. But I will listen with an open mind.
yeah, I have lots of questions, but until I hear what they say it really is, yeah,
Oh, baby.
it's an AI project.
I mean, I do know we have, there are some issues with garbage can size in the village. There's also times where I hear where the garbage collectors just don't pick up certain tubs. And then they call Ryan's office and Ryan's office goes to the rescue and figures it out. So if whatever this is, helps address some of that and letting residents know when they have a garbage can that's out of compliance, so they're not questioning. I think it would certainly limit the number of phone calls DPW gets, but again,
Gary wanted, the mayor wanted to be very clear. This was not anything against the village of Scotia, any.
No, they're doing, they're doing in the city.
You're doing it in the
Contract with
city, and he said,
city.
hey, we got it in the city, let's do it.
You heard about this
I
already?
wasn't meaning to say that, but
This is not scoop now.
I don't know if it was supposed to be a scoop yet.
That's it, you just
well,
scooped
then
it.
why did we put it on a call?
No, I don't think it was not.
That's it, Chad's gonna hit, no sleep for you tonight, you're on a hot case now.
No, it's not a.
AI code enforcement.
It's the city of Schenectady and the village of Scotia meeting together to review.
I want a long-form expose on my desk, by.
Because we know nothing about the specifics of it. But it's not It's not private. They're
I'm all
already
for a
doing,
joint meeting.
they're already doing. it.
I love joint meetings, I love meetings, let's do it.
Well, you're used to these joint meetings. All right, I'll talk to him. It's probably not until next month anyways that they're. Because they're still in the process of rolling stuff out.
This is the singularity, guys.
Okay. I need to bring you guys into executive session. I'm sorry. It'll be brief.
I'll make a motion.
Regarding
Personnel.
I'll second.
particular person,
Yeah, I can't listen to me.
yeah, we just can't.
Just us, but
Yeah.
Then that's it for our business.
You made the,
Business, anybody have any other
you made
business?
the motion,
Yes.
thank you.
You seconded.
Yeah.
No.
Can I ask a question of when you're gonna